Welcome, lads, to the Little Football TV. It's great to be back, guys. It's what a comeback! What a comeback! We're coming in with great content. Nothing fake. Nothing dross or whatever you guys want to call it. But we're coming in with some great content, with some new, fresh content. And yeah, expect that, guys. Expect everything football, not just Manchester United, like how I used to do things. We coming in with fresh ideas. Um, and yeah, you can call this the real comeback. I did tell you guys that I'll only come back and do the show until the Glazers are gone. They're partly gone. So, to some degree, I could not stay away forever. I like discussing football. I like having football discussions. That is why, you may have been seeing me appear on the Real United Therapy TV. Shout out to Nuruddin for giving me that opportunity to be part of the panelists. And yeah, man, I'm all football and I'm all for opinions, but we also have to make sure that we don't make opinions for the sake of making opinions. We need to get facts behind it, and we have a proper discussion behind that. So yeah, I mean, the video, as it says, we had to talk about the if whether Ineos are the real deal or not. That's the most important thing that we need to address today to everyone. Um, And yeah, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Guys, I'm trying to get to 1,000. But first, I want to try and get to 100 subscribers before my end goal would be 1,000. And shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone who's ever tuned into the show. This time I'm here to stay. We're here to stay. I might have been busy with a lot of things, but let's get back to the point at hand. Is Ineos the real deal or not? I'm one to not hide anything. I'm here to say things how they should be said, and that is why you see me a lot on the United Real Therapy TV, because I mean it's that simple. I align myself with the same people who make content for people. I align myself. Sorry about that. I meant I I align myself with people who don't lie to their viewers and who tell it straight as it is. That is my motto in life, in actual value. So every single time I will always gravitate towards someone who isn't afraid to tell the truth straight up. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out again to Real Therapy TV. They really got shadow banned, so I want you guys to also go up there and subscribe it. We're at 9K at Real United Therapy. So yeah, doesn't matter, bro. We here to tell it how it is. This is the List of Football TV, and we're just gonna have a short discussion and a brief discussion on Ineos. Ineos, right? Owned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who purchased 25% of Manchester United. Um, so, are they the real deal or not? You know, um, I've been following them since they ever got linked to us. They tried to buy Chelsea first. They couldn't get Chelsea, obviously. Um, they lost that battle to Chelsea's new owner right now. They tried and get Man United. They got Man United literally through the back door. They're still working with the Glazers. Personally, I do not trust them. You know, I feel like trust and respect should be earned, right? You earn it first. You can't just trust anything. You can't just blindly go with anything. Just because they say they're doing this, they're doing that. I want to see those actions on the pitch as well. If what we're hearing is that they link to Southgate, how are you linking us to Southgate? Because there has to be some truth to that. If this news is being circulating so much, we know that this manager's Tanakh is literally living by his last days right now at Man United. But if we're being honest, he may be gone. they don't believe he'll get that elusive Champions League spot, or whether he wins the FA Cup or not. But if you don't qualify for the Champions League, that's standard. I think that's just the standard all around. So from my perspective and looking from things outside, I would have preferred Qatar because Qatar wanted the full sale. It's not about preference or anything. I would have still loved Ineos if they actually came here and bought the full. They got the full sale, but because they partially bought the club to stop us initially getting the club at stopping the Qataris from getting the club at full sale. For me, that's dodgy. I'm sorry to say that is absolutely dodgy. And they played a dirty game, and they have to now earn my trust. I was pissed off when I learned that they took over. I was pissed off at first. Okay, obviously, you calm down after a while. You're in your emotions and stuff, but you calm down after a while, and you take perspective, and you look at it from a realistic point, and you have to deal with your new reality. That's the reality of the matter. And you look at it and you say, you know what, I'll give them a chance, but I'm not trusting them. There's a difference. They have to prove it to us. They have to prove it to the whole fan base. I mean, if you go into anything in life and you fully trust it, or you start a relationship with whoever and you fully trust it, you have to earn that trust. For you to have a certain level of trust and respect in something, it's because throughout the time it has shown you relentlessly, and as well as consistently, it has shown itself, or that person has shown themselves that they can be relied on, or that they have this certain characteristic. So for me, are they the real deal? Prove it to me. Because if I'm right now, it's not looking good from your perspective. If you're looking at these guys and they're linked to, we should not be anywhere near linked to Southgate. Even under the Glazers. The Glazers are not that stupid. They were never linked with someone like Southgate because they knew, obviously, even they, they're not even football people, but they know they're not going anywhere near Southgate ever. No matter how desperate they are, they'll never settle for a manager called Gareth Southgate. So I can't see this happening personally. I think it's just the British news, throwing it around and hoping. Obviously, England secures this guy for the long term, or someone else secures this guy, because I think it's just a negotiation power move rather than anything else, and that goes down to PR and all these things, and I don't have time to honestly discuss that right now. But from my logical stance, if they go after Southgate, it's a PR nightmare. That guy won't even last the first game. He will be howled. He's not even through the door, and people are already saying that they don't want him. Trust him, he's not lasting 5 games. In 5 games, if he does not hit the ground running, he's screwed. Because nothing he ever does after that will be looked at legitimately. I mean, Ten Hag right now is having a problem because he cowered away from playing his style of play after 2 games in his first season. And I feel like that built a little bit of distrust, between him and the fan base. And some of the fan base at the time, because obviously most people are not Ten Hag out until last season, towards the end of last season, I think. But I think, to be honest, I think it was on my side. It was towards the end of last season. I think people were just tired. They were already writing him off, saying, in the first 5 games, if I don't see that type of style of play, if I don't see an identity, I'm Ten Hag out. So for me, basically, I knew he was not going to do it in his second season either. He was not a man who tried to change his style of play in his first season. So how is he going to do it in his second season? So, so a lot of people were Ten Hag out at that time. And yeah, it just got worse and worse with every passing result, with every record being broken. So Ineos have to kick. They have to make sure they make the right decision. If they keep Ten Hag, listen, it's a very tough situation that they're in, but it's a very, very simple decision to make. If they Tanakh and they bring in Southgate, I'm done. I am absolutely. I'll be flabbergasted by that, man. I'll be flabbergasted by that because I mean, you have the right people in, and you're still gonna flop. You're still basically going to um, make the wrong decision still, even with the right structures there. Just how on earth do you fail? How on earth do you waste that time trying to find the right sporting people and still end up making the worst decisions possible? I don't know how you can do that, personally. But if they do that, honestly, they would, on record, they would even be worse than the Glazers. And the Glazers have been here for how many years? And we already, right, with that one decision, they're already ultimately even more worse than the Glazers. And no amount of stadiums and cash injections into any training facilities is going to help those kind of moves on the football pitch. If you're making the worst moves in football pitch, you're ultimately destroying the club either way. So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. So they need to make sure they get their. If they're getting rid of Tanakh end of the season, they need to get in a manager who's gonna fit the style of play that they wanna play. Even if that manager was to be sacked, but we're playing good football, it's already a good foundation for the next manager to come in, because the next manager has to be an improvement on that manager. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me personally, I want someone who's a builder. I want someone who's gonna come in here and he's going to adhere to our style of play. Who's not gonna bother? Who's not gonna bother much in terms of the transfers and everything? Whose main focus is to be at the football club and perform his job mainly, and that is to coach the players, and that is to also make sure he makes the right substitutions, and is to also pick the a correct starting 11 that is well balanced on the field of play. That's what I'm looking for, and I don't see that in Tanakh, because right now, he's a guy that has to relinquish his power, but now he has to focus on his football. I feel like he's not that type of manager right now that we need. Tanakh is more of a manager that is possibly he's well suited at a club that already has an ethos and has had an ethos for many years. They are the type of guys that come in and they just add sprinkles on top of the type of football that you guys are already playing. That's what I feel from him. He's not like your Angie. Your Angie is he's a builder, because you can't do what he did. He's coming into a club that has no style of play. He went into Spurs and had his style of play and had his players believe in those ethos. And now I think Spurs going forward will probably use that as a beacon. Should things not work out with him, he'll still be that beacon for Spurs going forward. He has a style of play that is sustainable. And going forward, Spurs can really do something, even with or without him. It's established. Now, because that this is a certain way now they think that going forward will work for them. They're not gonna. I don't think they will change it. I think that's how they're gonna go, and that's what we need right now. We need someone like Angie, someone who's gonna come in and immediately we see the difference. I'm not buying this thing where we're gonna sit here for 2 years or 3 years and you're saying the person still needs 4 years to get a style of play. Ateta, even when he came in and finished 8th, you could still see what Arsenal are trying to do. Klopp, when he came in and he was finishing 7th and 8th, and in fact, in his first season, he reached 2 cup finals, 2. So you're not telling me that, and through his style of play, it was not perfect, obviously, because the personnel was not there, but it was still there. So that's not an excuse, because you don't have your personnel, you can't play a style of play. That's bull. I'm sorry to say it. If you have that analysis, then a lot of other analysis or evidence is right there to show you that whatever you're saying is nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense, because if Luton can have a style of play, if all these other clubs have an identity, and they had new managers, you're not telling me anything different. They had new managers. So I'm not buying this thing where it's like, The manager has to sit here for 2 years, 3 years to win, to challenge, to win trophies. Yes, I can agree with that, because you need the personnel to do that at any level. You do need the best in quality to do that. But to have an identity and a style of play and a base, that's basically your base going forward. If you don't have a sustainable base, I mean, which house can survive? Which house can survive without a foundation phase, a strong foundation phase? None. None whatsoever. So your style, your identity is your foundation phase. And the house that you build, yeah, let's just say, let me put this like in simplicity. The house that you want and you're hoping that it will last for so long and many, many years without crumbling or falling and whatever is dependent on the foundation phase that you build it on. Ten Hag for like whatever he's doing now is short-termism, basically. So there's no future behind what we're doing. But yet people still want this guy here for another year. If I see Ineos keeping this guy for another year, then I know very well that they don't know what they're doing. Sorry to say it, you can't waste years like this. You can't waste seasons and just throw them away and say, oh, give him another year. That's another year of your life. That is another year that you're going to fall behind other people, because other people are not going to sit still and wait for you to recover and say, oh, no, but it didn't work out in the third year. Oh, let's get someone new. Guess what? The project is set back by another year or two, adding on to that 3-year project that Ineos want to come in. It's that simple. Let's not beat around the bush, because this is just common sense at this point. We need to make sure that we make the right decisions, because that will be the determining factor on whether this project is a 3 or 5-year project. It's that simple. So I'm not having this thing where we're in the middle. Sorry. So we're not on that thing where sorry about that. We're not on that thing where it's like we we have to just give people chances. He hasn't earned that chance. Sorry. He has failed. This season he has failed. He has dragged us back. I mean, Ineos, if they cannot see that there's a huge regression from last season, and how on earth do you justify keeping someone if last season they performed this well, and then the next season they performed extremely badly? Because this is bad. This is not a 6 out of 10 season. This is a 3 or 2 compared to last season. Last season was a 6. Last season was definitely a 6. But this season is a 2 or 3. You can't do that. We need a certain level of consistency. If he managed a 5, yes, but with better style of play, then that is justifiable for a third season. So Ineos need to think, and they need to think long and hard before they make any sort of decision going into next season. I'm not having this. So yeah, guys, let's see. Are they real or not? I think they'll answer that question with the next moves that they make at the end of the season, because that's what I'm looking at. If at the end of the season we're not making the right appointments, we're not signing the right players, we're already doing things that were done in compared, like the same thing that the previous management have done, then it's, guys, you're in it for the long. Like we're in deep trouble. Like the club is finished, and I have that feeling if these guys do not get it right, then we're screwed, because now no one and nothing is saving this right now. They went, like I said, they went through the back doors in getting this club. They took the shady and most petty deal that you can possibly do to beat the Qataris. And now they're trying to mask that by saying that they're also going to invest in the stadium, they're going to invest in the area, exactly what the Qataris are saying they're going to do. But if the football, if we're not performing on the football pitch, then that's pretty much useless. I'm sorry to say. Then what are we doing? This is capitalism. This is not a way of the club improving. This is you milking the club even further until there's nothing left of that club. Because trust in me, if we do not perform and do well in the next coming years, there is no club left. You're building all this, you're investing all this money into a big new stadium with big tourists, and there's no soul left in the club. There's absolutely nothing left. Guess what? we will end up nowhere. There will be no club left. But yeah, that's how I want to leave it, guys. Glad to be back on the show again. And yeah, don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And you know, sometimes if you want to find me, I'm on the Real United Therapy TV. After every I do the match reaction, I'm part of the panel on the match reaction show. So you can check me out on there as well. And yeah, evening to you guys, and I hope you guys have a lovely one. Peace out.